10 years ago, in 2002, you had your first fight for the heavyweight championship of the world against Vladimir Klitschko, first of four bouts. And it seems that during this period of 10 years, the style of Vladimir Klitschko has changed a lot. In 2002, he used to be more aggressive and more active fighters. Now he's focused on the defense. It's my opinion. What is yours opinion?
Well, I think whether he's focused on the defense now or was very aggressive back when I fought him, whichever it is, he's still, in my opinion, one of the top 20 greatest heavyweights of all time. I mean, the man has just beaten everyone there is to be in the last 15 years. So there's not really much you can say about that when you really look at it logically, as I do. He's just a great fighter, finds a way to win, and that's it.
Do you expect any problems for Vladimir in his fights against your compatriot Tony Thompson on July 7th?
I do hope that Tony Thompson does very well. I would like to see Thompson win, but I just feel that if he does win, he would have to fight the fight of his life because, like I said, I feel that Vladimir Klitschko is probably one of the top 25 greatest heavyweights of all time.
Szpilka recently says that he has nothing against fighting against Tomasz Adamek. What do you think about the level of Adamek and the level of Szpilka?
Well, it's a completely different level, and what I say to that is let him get past, let him see what he does against a McCline, an older McCline, reinvigorating his career before he goes and asks for these big names. Let's see what happens then. I think that Thomas Adamek is a very, very good fighter, very accomplished fighter, very smart fighter, very conditioned fighter. I know he had a lot of trouble against Vitali, but I also feel that he would have some trouble against Vladimir. But here's the thing about great champions. Great champions always find a way. They always find a way, whether it comes from inside, from in their head, they always find a way to prevail when need be. So you can never really count them out, no matter how great I think Vladimir is, or how great I think Vitali is, or how great I think Adamek is. All champions find a way, and obviously Thomas Adamek is a world champion, just not at heavyweight.
You're fighting against Samuel Peter for the WBC belt, WBC interim at that time, I think, and you were really close to knock Samuel out. What happened that you didn't manage to do that?
Well, what people don't know about that fight is that I was in training camp for 17 weeks that night, so I was a little tired. And the reason why I was in camp for 17 weeks is because I was supposed to fight Vitaly Klitschko. I was in training camp to fight Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko pulled out of the fight a week before the fight. So I was still in shape. I went to Don King. Don King said, okay, you can put me on a card where Samuel Peter will be fighting Oleg Muskayev. Oleg Muskayev gets hurt, so they asked me to step in. And I said, okay, fine. So from the time I started training for Vitaly Klitschko to the time I fought Samuel Peter was 17 weeks long, so it was a lot of training. So by the time I got there, I was very, very weak, and that's why I went after him so hard early, because I knew I was weak. I didn't tell anyone, but I knew I was weak from too long in training. But this is boxing. The opportunity was there, and I couldn't walk away from it.
Your compatriot Roy Jones Jr., who is fighting also on Saturday, says that his ultimate goal in professional boxing is gaining the cruiserweight belt. So what is your ultimate goal right now? Do you still believe in gaining, in achieving the heavyweight championship of the world, or you can admit honestly that your aims are different?
No, I can admit honestly that my aim is to be a heavyweight champion. That's the only reason why I come back to the game. I do very well financially. I don't really need boxing to make a living. I came back because I fought for the heavyweight championship of the world 4 times without a win. That's why I'm back here, to give it another shot.
But some time ago, you started also your career as a journalist, as far as I remember. I remember that you were talking to Joe Frazier. That was his last interview, unfortunately. Are you still conducting interviews and so on?
Well, I'm still trying to do some things. I definitely am still in commentating. I did commentate a Thomas Adamek fight. I commentated Holyfield and Sherman Williams. I commentated Zab Judah fight. So I'm in the business also on the other side of the camera. But my ultimate goal is to be heavyweight champion, and if I can still commentate, that'd be great.
And how do you remember Joe Frazier?
Joe Frazier was a great guy. I interviewed him for the very last time. I have the last known footage of him and I. And he was a great champion. It was very nice to have a conversation with him not too long. It was a month before he passed away, so I feel very honored.